Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson decided to publish a new title at the end of the year. This one called New Comics, starting with a #1 issue, December 1935, and again it featured all new material. Among the artists whose work featured in here was Walt Kelly, Sheldon Mayer, and Vincent Sullivan. All three would be important to the development of comics. The title would go through many name changes, turning into New Adventure Comics with issue 12, then to simply Adventure Comics with issue 32. Like New Fun, the title went through a period of volume 2 with new numbering, starting with New Adventure Comics #1, then New Adventure volume 3 #1, and stopping with volume 3 #2, before returning to #2, continuing its original numbering run. This title, with the help of many superheroes features, would last until 1983, ending with issue 503. This is the first issue of DC Comics' second series. The title ran 11 issues as New Comics before turning into the new title. It's got a cover by Vin Sullivan with interior art by early DC aces Sheldon Mayer and Whitney Ellsworth, as well as Walt Kelly. Walter Crawford Kelly Jr., born August 25, 1913, lived until October 18, 1973. Commonly known as Walt Kelly, was an American animator and cartoonist best known for the comic strip Pogo. He began his animation career in 1936 at Walt Disney Studios, contributing to Pinocchio, Fantasia, and Dumbo. At that time, he did some work for DC Comics in 1935 and 36. In 1941, Kelly transferred at the age of 28 to work at Dell Comics, where he created Pogo, which eventually became his platform for political and philosophical commentary. New Comics #1 has many interesting features, such as the cover story Jibby Jones, written and drawn by Vincent Sullivan. Walt Kelly gave us Gulliver's Travels, a 2-page story adapted from the Jonathan Swift classic book. And Sheldon Mayer debuted at DC with a science fiction title called Strange Adventures of Mr. Weed, a 4-page science fiction story. Sheldon Mayer, born April 1st, 1917, lived until December 21st, 1991, an American comic book writer, artist, and editor, one of the earliest employees of Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson's National Allied Publications. Mayer produced almost all of his comics work for the company that would become known as DC Comics. He is among those credited with rescuing the unsold Superman comic strip from the rejection pile. Between 1936 and 38, Mayer worked for Dell Comics, producing illustrations, house advertisements, and covers for titles including Popular Comics, The Comics, and The Funnies. Also in 1936, he joined the McClure Syndicate as an editor working for comics industry pioneer MC Gaines. While working for the McClure Syndicate, Mayer came across Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's unsold Superman comic strip, which he immediately fell in love with. He recalled in a 1985 interview, "The syndicated press rejected it about 15 times, but I was singing its praises so much that in 1938, Gaines finally took the strip up to Harry Donenfeld, who was looking for original material to run in his new title, Action Comics." Action Comics editor Vince Sullivan is also among those credited with discovering Superman. Sheldon Mayer retired from editing in 1948 to devote himself full-time to cartooning. He began to write and draw a number of humor comics for National, including the features The Three Musketeers, Leave It to Binky, a teenage humor book, and Sugar and Spike. This proved to be one of his longest-lasting strips, starring two babies who could communicate in baby talk that adults could not understand. Mayer even signed the stories he drew, something rare at national periodical publications in the late 50s when Sugar and Spike debuted.
Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer, with 40 collectible categories and nearly 1 million online bidder members. Whether you're an experienced collector hunting for that elusive item, or a novice considering the sale of a valuable family heirloom, put the expertise and market strength of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Visit us today at ha.com to find out for yourself why Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer.